Jay Sri Radheshyam. Namaste Guru Devaya Sarvasiddhi Pradayine Sarvamagala Rupaya Sarvananda Vidyayine. Jai Radha Raman, Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur, Jai Sri Radheshyam. Dinhari Das Babaji Maharaj biography. Birth. Introduction of Sri Gurudev. This is a Hindi text that I am translating on real time to English. Please, I apologize if I do mistakes or my rhythm is slower than normal. In 1932, you were born in an elite upper Brahmin family in the state of Manipur. The exact detail of his parental and maternal lineage were not received from Sri Gurudev, Sri Dinhari Das Babaji Maharaj. Whenever he asked any question related to his father and mother for information, he would indirectly or directly move away from that topic by bringing up some Bhagavad incident. We present something as per the details received from Sri Gurudev's ancient old devotees, Sakhi Baba, an exclusive servant, Chaitanya Das Ji, and his exclusive servant, Chaitanya Das Ji. Sri Gurudev Ji's mother died when he was 5 years old, and his father died when he was 7 years old. That is, at very tender age of 7 years. Sri Gurudev was deprived of loving affection from his parents. Sri Gurudev's life could not be like that of other children who spend their lives happily under the loving care of their parents. The scriptures says that any event that reduces attachment to the world is in a way God's grace. Sri Gurudev often used to talk about his aunt, who lived in Vrindavan for 6 months and in her home for 6 months. He received paternal and maternal love from his aunt only. Auntie taught that if the children knows the glory of Sridham and the glory of Vaishnavas from childhood, then the child will lead his life in the right direction. Therefore, right from infancy, aunt changed the direction of his life by saying Sridham Mahima and Vaishnav Mahima. Sri Gurudev's childhood was spent in listening to Sridham glory, Vaishnav glory, and stories of devotees in this world. There is not substitute for parents, nor can anyone take his place, but the role of those in whose company we spend our childhood is no less than that of father and mother. G. Babaji led his life with Vaishnav values. They thought that a life devoid of values could confuse them. The welfare of living being is not possible through such aimless and directionless humans. If this child starts his life with Vaishnav values, then the welfare of the people at all levels of the family and society can be achieved. Besides, he will also be able to fulfill his human life. Life started being lived with this type of feelings and values. Since childhood, Baba had a special interest in traveling and singing. Adolescence. Baba's childhood was different from that of other children. One reason is the absence of parents. The other reason is being conditioned by religious values since childhood. Baba did not have such a good fortune that all children spend their days playing, dancing, and without any worries in the lap of their parents. There was no bond of affection of any kind since childhood. Considering Baba's age, the family enrolled him in a rural school. He was always sad. Due to lack of parents and not care for the children, there was no interest in studies at all. Started going to school irregularly. Gradually, with age, the instability in the mind started increasing. Since childhood, Baba had no attraction toward any material things. Generally, every child is interested in good food and clothes. Baba was not interested in such things. Adolescence began to be spent with a very simple and virtuous lifestyle. The family was informed by the school about Baba's indifference, but no such person in the family was able to play the role of father and mother. At this time, Baba had special interest in only two things. One was in listening the Yatrapala songs, and the other was in the glory of Sridham and the lives of saints and sages from the mouth of his aunt. Walking. Where are you going? Don't know myself. How to reach Howrah station in such extreme adversity? In listening to the character, the stories, listening the stories of the sadhus. There is no one of our own in this world. Gradually, renunciation developed in the mind, which even though a person spent his entire life, is not able to free himself from the clutches of illusion and attachments of this world. Baba demonstrated that work at just 16 years old. By the grace of Sri Gaura Govind, we were easily free from this world like a forest. In this world, the one who has everything, there is no Krishna. The one who has nothing, there is Krishna. Just as the southern wind carries a dark cloud from one place to another like cotton, similarly, loneliness paved the way for renunciation by erasing all worldly attachments and all kinds of attractions from the life of Sri Gurudev. Full credit goes to Aunt for bringing us to this position. Above all, without the special mercy of Sri Guru Gauranga, worldly desires cannot be eradicated. It is determined on the basis of previous life. Nartanu Bajaner Mol. Even when humans grow old, they are not able to come out of the well of the world. At the age of only 16, Sri Gurudev, Sri Dinhari Das Babaji Maharaj, considered the worldly desires as insignificant and decided to leave home. There was only one goal in life: to live in Sri Dham, Vrindavan, under the guidance of Sri Guru Vaishnavas. Keeping this goal in mind, Sri Gurudev in itself, Thakur Narottam Das Thakur Mahasai words were implemented in his life. Homeless. Wearing single clothes, he left the house with no money in the pockets. If you feel hungry, if he feels hungry or thirsty, there is no provision. If it becomes night, there is no shelter. If you find a place to sleep, there is no bed, etc. In such a situation, there was only trust in the feet of Sri Gaura Govindaji. Bengal Gaman. Going from Manipur state to West Bengal is not an easy path for a 16 years old boy. The only hope is the feet of Sri Guru Govind, renouncing everything. He was walking. He didn't know where to go and how to reach Howrah station in extreme adverse circumstances. This is Durga for innocent and ignorant people like us. Only devotees who are devotees of Sri Guru Gaurang can understand. Out of the house and alone for the first time, all the people were vocal with the tweets and countless people, but Sri Gurudev was out of this series. Just utter one word, Lord Krishna, from your mouth, from his mouth. Show the way. One who is blessed by God can never face any problem of anxiety. Sri Gurudev doesn't know which train is going and where, came and stood near the train and started looking around. 2 policemen were watching Baba. They felt that this child was helpless and needed help. A train stopped at platform. As soon as it arrived, everyone boarded it. Sri Gurudev did not know whether to board the train or not. He started getting scared after seeing so much people. He wanted to board the train but could not. The policemen were watching this scene. Seeing them, 2 policemen came and helped them in boarding. It was not clear how all this difficult work was being done. He was surprised to see people in the train. Forget sitting in the train. There was no space even to stand. Due to lack of language, he could not talk to anyone. Sri Gurudev does not even know where the train is going, standing silently inside the room. Even in such a difficult situation, no fatigue was felt on Baba's face. Everyone saw that this child was standing at one place for a long time. There was no place to sit. No one was with him. No food, no water, and no other stuff. Although we could not talk to anyone, he could not talk to anyone due to language problem. Seeing Baba's emotional state, an experienced traveler made him to sit next to him. Seeing him alone at this young age, all the passengers sitting in the train accepted him as their own companion. During the conversation, Baba came to know that everyone was Sri Kashi Vishwanath. Were going to Sri Kashi Vishwanath, going for darshan. They asked to Babaji, "Where are you going?" Baba replied with happiness, "To Kashi." Baba does not have anything. Seeing this, all the passengers were feeling pity on Baba. He got water, food, a place to sit. During the rainy season, in the month of Sawan, all Shiva devotees go to the court of Bholenath to offer water. All the passengers started shouting, "Har Har Mahadev!" Someone was saying, "Kashi Vishwanath Mahadev ki Jai!" Baba also started shouting Jai along with them. Baba's loneliness went away. Arrival at Sri Kashi Dham. Baba arrived in Kashi Dham along with the devotees of Sri Kashi Vishwanath. The whole atmosphere became Mahadev-like, with the sound of Har Har Mahadev coming from the mouths of all the devotees. On the way, by the grace of Sri Kashi Vishwanath Mahadev, he gave his respect and bowed to all the devotees. He gave pranams to all the devotees. Vishwanath Mahadev was seen with all the devotees. As soon as Baba had the darshan, he had a strong desire to reside in Kashi Dham. While having darshan, Baba got separate from the devotees with whom Baba had come to Sri Kashi Dham. At that very moment, a sound came from Baba's heart, and it seemed as if someone was softly saying in his ear, "Mother Annapurna is present in this dham. Here, no creature faces shortage of food. You can live in this land of knowledge without any worry and fulfill your goal. There is no need to worry. Very soon, all your arrangements will be made." Being a renunciant of everything, God's grace was received through some devotees. Since childhood, Baba was very simple, selfless, and generous. Due to these virtues, Baba used to come in the sight of someone or the other. At this age, Baba decided that saints' shelter is the only credit, the only important thing. If Baba is there, then eat in the ashram of a saint. If you sleep at the place of a saint, then you are sleeping in the residence of a saint. After seeing Mahadevji, Baba followed the saints. All the devotees were going to listen to the sermons of the saints. Sermon with Baba. Baba started listening. At the end of the story, all the devotees and saints received the prasad without any hesitation. Baba also received prasad. After prasad, all the saints went to their private places. Only the ashram residents remained in the story place. There was no place for Baba, so he slept at the same place. Due to language problems, he was not able to say anything to anyone, but saints are all deep souls. Seeing Baba's conscience, the head of the ashram made all the arrangements in the ashram itself. Gradually, Baba started living in the ashram, doing some service, got shelter by the grace of Mahadevji. Every moment started being spent in the company of the sage. Only 16 years old, the ashram residents were overwhelmed to see Baba's devotions to service, devotion to the Holy Land, and devotion towards the saints. This was the time for study. Baba now started studying education. Baba's teenage life was spent in the company of sages and in the service of sages. Due to the influence of satsang, Baba's mind started becoming stable. In this way, days of great joy and happiness began to spend in study, daily darshan, daily bath, and daily service of saints. Baba's health deteriorated during the summer season. Baba was infected with chickenpox. Baba became weak due to terrible pain, fever, and unbearable pain. By the grace of the sages, Baba was freed from the incurable disease. Now, about 10 months have passed. Gradually, he started understanding Hindi language. Interest in studying scripture arose. First, Baba studied grammar. After that, he started enjoying Upanishads and Puranas, etc. Still did not achieve stability in mind. A Mahatma started teaching Gita. While studying Gita Shastra, devotion toward God Sri Krishna started increasing. Started reading books related to Harinam, form, qualities, and pastime of Lord Krishna. The sages nearby used to ask only questions related to Lord Krishna. Baba asked to the sages, to the sadhus, only questions related to Sri Krishna. At this time, Baba's situation became like that of Ramananda Roy, the chief inner devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu said, "Which knowledge is the essence of knowledge?" Ramananda Roy replied, "Devotion to Krishna is knowledge without knowledge." While touring South India, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed the scriptures with Ramananda Roy for 17 days at a place called Vidyanagar. Miscellaneous questions while walking. The Lord asked, "Which knowledge is the best?" Rai Ramanand said that devotion to Krishna is the best of all type of learning. So what is the education that we go to school to acquire? The knowledge we get from school is basic knowledge. Through this knowledge we earn money, but not qualities. Therefore, in the childhood life of Param Karunyamayi Baba, disinterest toward studies developed. Now Baba came to know which among of the Vidyas is the best. Told in the scriptures, Jat Vidya Jat Majar Vaibhav Sri Krishna Bhajane Vaga. In this way, through Jat Vidya, one can earn money, live luxurious life, and get all kinds of material pleasure. All these are the property of Maya. That is, they are impermanent and temporary. Due to the causeless special mercy of Sri Gaura Govind, Baba remained away from these studies since his childhood. Tai iha loke Srimad Bhagavata Katha. It's very rare and precious at all times. Jahar Shravan Matre Hari Daya Maya. Shravan Karir pictures are shelter. He remained engrossed in the studies of the scriptures for a long period of 6 years. Kashi is known by the name Gyan Bhumi. He gained knowledge through the study of scriptures, but the instability in the mind gradually increased. Mahadev himself is the ultimate Vaishnav. Vaishnavs are Vancha Kalpataru. By coming near them, Vaishnavs, all kind of desire will be fulfilled. Baba Devadidev started praying at the feet of Param Vaishnav Mahadevji with utmost hope to attain the feet of Sri Guru Govind as soon as possible of Sri Gurudev, because in association with the Vaishnavs, no one's wish goes in vain. Mahadev himself is a Vaishnav of Vaishnavs, is the Vaishnavs of the Vaishnavs, which is like the continuous flow of Ganga stream from 5 mouths. Chanting the name, no one remains deprived of such a most merciful person. God is under the devotee. Only God fulfills the wishes of the devotees. Baba wanted to visit Sri Haridwar. The distance from Sri Kashi Dham to Sri Haridwar Dham is approximately 1000 kilometers. Baba had heard the glory of Sri Haridwar from the sages. All the gods and goddesses, sages and saints, all yearn to visit Sri Haridwar Dham. Ganga Kankhale Punya Kurukshetra Saraswati Bilash, or if Ban Ranye Punya Narmada, everywhere. Ganga Kankhal bestows virtue in Haridwar. Saraswati in the west and Godavari in the south provides virtue. Bathing in Saraswati for 3 days, Jamuna for 7 days, and just seeing Ganga Ji provides purity and cleanliness. Regarding to the origin of Ganga, Baba said, according to the Puranas, Mother Ganga came to earth to revive the 60,000 sons of Sagar king. The arrival of Ganga on earth is discussed in detail in Bhagavatam. According to this story, King Sagar performed Ashvamedha Yajna and released the horse of the Yajna for the purpose of Digvijay. The king handed over the responsibility of protecting that horse to his son. Indra became jealous of the fame of the Sagar king. One night, when all the princes were resting, Indra secretly stole the king's horse and tied it to Kapil Muni ashram. Kapil Muni was sitting in meditation at this time. They had no idea who was doing what. When all the princes reached Kapil Muni's ashram in search of the horse, they considered the sage to be the horse thief. The princes understood without asking that the sage was a fraud. One of those princes pricked the sage sitting in meditation with the tip of his bow and said good and bad. In this way, when they started harassing Prince Muni again, his meditation was broken. When the sage, filled with the power of penance, opened his eyes, all the princes were burned to ashes. Later, Bhagirath, a descendant of King Sagar, went to great lengths to save his ancestors. After penances, he was successful in bringing Ganga to earth. After the descent of Ganga, 60,000 sons of King Sagar got salvation. Since then, Gangaji got another name, Bhagirathi. When Ganga, which appeared from the feet of Lord Vishnu, came to Haridwar, it became a rare and excellent place of pilgrimage, even for the gods. Those people who circumvallate that pilgrimage after taking bath and having darshan of Sri Hari never face sorrow. It is the best of all pilgrimage places. It provides all four efforts in the form of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. The one who narrates and listens to the sacred story of Sri Haridwar Dham gets the eternal fruit of Sahasra, Godan, and Ashvamedha Yajna. Ganga is accessible everywhere. Trishu place, rare, Prayage, by Ganga and the confluence of Ganga and Sagar. That is, Ganga is accessible everywhere but is considered rare in Gangadhar, Pragag and Ganga Sagar Sangam. By taking bath at those places, people go to heaven, and the fortunate ones who leave their body at this place are not reborn. After leaving the body, one attains salvation, mukti. Hearing such praise about Haridwar from the saints, Baba decided to visit Haridwar Dham. This is the first part of the story of Sri Dinhari Das Babaji Maharaj, disciple of Sri Gaurang Das Babaji Maharaj, who is disciple of Sri Ram Das Babaji Maharaj, who is disciple of Mahavira Radharaman Charan Das Dev. I hope you enjoyed this reading, this lecture. Please forgive me for any mistake that I have been doing in pronunciation and length, in rhythm, or if my speaking is not clear enough. This humble creature is doing all its best in order to serve all Vaishnavas. Thank you very much for watching, and please, if you want to support, you can subscribe to this channel. Jai Radharamana ki Jai, Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Sri Radheshyam.